You can start seated just for a little bit of centering. If seated isn't comfortable for you, you can also lie on your back with your knees bent, or in Supta Baddha Konasana is absolutely fine too. So just find a seat that is comfortable, whatever that looks like for you. And just close your eyes and begin to just settle into your space on your mat. Letting go of your week, of your day, of your trip to get here. Let go of that to-do list. And just come to this present moment, to this breath. Begin to find your deep diaphragmatic breath, your belly breath, where you allow your belly to soften so that you can feel the belly expand on the inhale and feel the belly contract on the exhale. Just beginning to let go of everything. And we're going to set our intention of finding some present moment awareness today. And you can continue with your breath, beginning to connect with a gentle ujjayi breath. And if you're not sure what ujjayi breath is, that's creating that little restriction in the back of your throat so that your inhales and your exhales slow down. And it begins to make a noise like the sound of the ocean, just nice and gentle. And while you're connecting with your ujjayi breath and settling into your spot, I'm just going to talk a little bit about the koshas. So we're starting a block of classes related to the koshas. And I haven't taught about the koshas before, so this is going to be new for some of you. Actually, you can float your eyes open if you wish. I brought a visual, which really helps. So if you're laying down, you can sit up. Stay connected with your breath, but I'm going to talk so you can pay attention. So I've got this little moonstone, and I don't know if you can tell when the light shines through it, it creates this light in the middle. Can you see a light? It's like glowing orange. I don't know if you can see it from back there. So this kind of framework of the koshas kind of answers the question, an Eastern perspective of how we come from pure consciousness into manifesting into the physical form of our bodies, of what we are right now. Because we all have that pure consciousness somewhere within us. Otherwise, we would just be robots walking around. So this consciousness, there's 5 layers or 5 sheaths. So I didn't have Russian dolls, so I brought Christmas boxes. So, there's Marilyn. Hey, Marilyn, come on in. So this pure consciousness, as we begin to form our physical self, the first kosha closest to that consciousness is called Annamaya Kosha, or the bliss body. They're all called bodies. So we're, in Western perspective, we're just this body and we are this brain. But in Eastern perspective, they break it down into 5 layers. So this is our bliss body. And most of us, sometimes after a really good long yoga class and you're really in the zone, you might get a glimpse of that bliss at the very center, and it's the closest to your consciousness. Most of us don't get to see that very often, unless you've been practicing yoga for a really long time. The next layer that surrounds it is Annamaya Kosha, and this is our wisdom body. So it surrounds that bliss body, and this is, the bliss body is really our inner knowing, that with inner wisdom. And again, sometimes when we're disconnected, we often, it's like you lose sight of that gut feeling, that inner knowing of when you're trying to make choices in your life, of just knowing the right thing that you need to do for your life, for your path. And sometimes that can be very hard for many of us to connect with. And then the next layer is the Annamaya Kosha, or our mind body. So this is different from our wisdom body in that the mind body is our thinking mind. And oftentimes our mind body gets bogged down with ego thinking, and we're constantly, when we try to do meditation, you know, that voice, that's the mind body that's going. It's telling us what we should do, what we shouldn't do, what we did wrong, that we're awful, that we're this, that we're that. Sometimes it tells us good things, but majority of time our mind is telling us not such good things, right? You're too skinny, you're too fat, you're not smart enough, all those things, right? And with yoga, we try to work around that as well. And then the next layer is your pranamaya body. So this is when we're working in our yoga class, we're connecting with that energetic body through our breath and drawing that new energy into the body. So that's the pranamaya body. And then today, what we're going to work on is the physical body called the food body, or Annamaya body. And that is our outermost layer. And that is what you see. We're made up of what we eat, basically. And this is our heaviest, densest vibration of what we are, starting with consciousness at the center and working our way out in these different layers. So over the course of the next few classes, we're going to be bringing awareness to these particular layers, or koshas, or sheaths they're called. And as we move through them, it'll start to make a lot more sense if you haven't been exposed to any information about the koshas. So today, because we're working with the physical body, the food body, this is something that we're very familiar with. Most of us live in those first two outer layers, our food body, or those first three outer layers, our energetic body and our mind body. And we never really think about those other more subtle layers that are within us. So over the course of the next few weeks, we're going to be working to become a little more aware of those parts of ourselves that we often don't even really think about. So does anybody have any questions? Because that was a lot in like 3 minutes. We are going to go ahead and get started right into our physical practice, coming onto your hands and knees. And through our practice, I really want you to bring your awareness to that physical body, to feeling all the parts of your body. So we're going to start in cat-cow. And before we start, let's curl the toes under and press down all 5 fingers on both hands, and then bring your awareness to your shoulder blades and try to wrap the shoulder blades around the body towards your mat, and let that inform the amount of pressure that you're pressing into the earth. And then go ahead and start with your inhale, opening the front body, and feel those sensations through the spine, the hips, the shoulders. And exhale, go ahead and drop the chin, press the earth away from you, wrap those shoulder blades around. And then just keep moving with your breath. You can close your eyes here if you wish, or you can keep your eyes open as you rock or oscillate between these two movements. And keep that awareness on those shoulder blades. We often don't think about the action of the shoulder blades when we're doing cat-cow. Let's just do a couple more. And then when you complete this last one, we're going to come to a neutral spine, a neutral tabletop. And we're going to bring some awareness into our toes. So you've got your toes curled under right now. We're just going to sit back on the heels. And so this begins to work through the kidney meridian. Now, if this is really intense for anybody, I've got some issues with my toes, so it is intense for me. And if it's intense for you, rather than sitting on your heels, you can rise up a little bit and keep your toes curled under so that you can control how much pressure you're putting into your toes. And then intertwine your fingers, reach the palms up to the sky. And then lengthen up as you inhale and exhale here. And most of you are going to be sitting on your heels. And again, if it's too painful, you can rise up. So we often don't pay attention to our feet either throughout our day and throughout our practice. You see, that's not just intense for me, it's intense for most of you in here too. Let's take one more breath here, really lengthen up and press into those toes. And then we release the hands down. We're going to move into working with our wrist, another neglected part of our bodies. Take your right hand, turn your fingers so that your fingers point towards your knees. You can keep your toes curled under here too. If you're really flexible and this is no big deal for you, you can turn both at the same time. Otherwise, keep your left hand facing the other direction so you can control the pressure on your wrists. And if you're just doing one at a time, you can switch now. And you can bring a very gentle rocking motion back and forth. This is a great exercise to do every day if you spend a lot of time driving, working on your computer or on your phone, because we tend to get these claw hands. And yeah, when you're writing all day as well. So there's lots of things and we neglect our wrists. So just a couple more breaths here. And then you can release, have both hands facing forward. We're going to move into wide-legged child's pose. So bring your knees wide, toes can touch, send your sit bones towards your heels. Uncurl your toes. Bring your awareness or your thoughts to that intention of present moment awareness here. And then we're going to begin to move in and out of child's pose and hanging cobra. So as we inhale, we begin to rise up, bend the knees, point the toes to the sky, send the hips forward, opening the front body. Exhale, move back into child's pose. We're going to do this for a few more breaths. Inhale, bend the knees, send the hips forward, open the front body. I don't know about you, but this feels so amazing on my body every time I do this. Let's do 3 more. If for whatever reason this is giving you some issues with your knees, you can do the same movement, same breath with your feet down on the mat. 2 more. Nice slow breath, connecting and feeling all of those sensations of the body, of that physical body, that Annamaya Kosha, our food body. And exhale back to child's pose. Pause in child's pose for just a couple breaths there once again. And then rise up to tabletop. Bring your hands slightly ahead of your shoulders. Curl your toes under, slowly moving into downward facing dog. Keeping your knees bent and pressing the top of your mat away as you draw your heart towards your knees. And then slowly press your thighs back. Don't worry if your heels don't touch the floor. Let's turn your toes to the left side of your mat and stretch into the left side body. Coming back to center, turn toes to the right, stretch into the right side body. Come back to center. We're going to do some hip circles now. So we're going to start with our right leg. So float the right leg up to the sky in 3-legged dog. And then bend the knee out to the side, shift forward as though you're coming into plank. Circle that knee around. Send the leg back up, 3-legged dog. So we're going to do that a few times. Circling that knee around. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, you can take a look up, because I can't see what everybody's doing. Let's do 2 more. Really feel into that hip joint. into any stiffness and tightness in that leg. And if you're having some issues with this position in down dog, you can come down to your elbows, or you can drop your other knee and do it in tabletop. You're still getting the same action of the hip. And with this last rotation, go ahead and let your foot come back down, downward facing dog. And let's go straight into the second side. So float the left leg up, stretch up, three-legged dog, and then circle that knee out to the side. Get into all those little sticky spots. Let's do 3 more. Remember, you can do this on hands and knees or on forearms as well. And when you complete that last rotation, go ahead and bring your foot down. Drop down a child's pose. Give your wrist a break here once again. Bringing your awareness back inwards. And then let's float back up. Find your downward facing dog, and we're just going to take 1 breath and then step or walk to the top of your mat. Inhale, lift your heart, hands to shins, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, bow down. Inhale, bend your knees, circle wide. Rise, look up. Really give a nice stretch to the body here. And then draw into your heart center. And release. Take a couple moments in your mountain pose just to ground through the feet. Find that connection. We spend a lot of time opening up all the meridians in the feet with our toes curled under. Let's just take 1 sun salutation, begin to warm up the body a little more. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, we fold at the hips. Bend your knees as much as you need to. Inhale, lift the heart up, lengthen the spine. Exhale, bow, step back into plank pose. So that same action we did in tabletop of wrapping those shoulder blades towards the armpit or down towards your mat, do that in plank pose. It's almost like you're trying to create a dome in the upper thoracic back between your shoulder blades. What's happening in your neck? Turn your head from side to side. What's happening with the legs is the belly button drawn in. 1 more breath here. And you could drop your knees for this first one or lower down through full plank. It's your choice. Lower all the way down. As we inhale, float the heart up, neck, back of the neck is long. Exhale, come down. Let's do that again. Inhale up. Draw your shoulder blades, your elbows toward one another. Legs are active. Exhale down. 1 last one. Inhale. And exhale. Take an inhale. Exhale, press up and back, child's pose. Release. The inhale floats you up to table and back to exhale, downward facing dog. So I'm going to show you a different way to step up. Sometimes some people have difficulty stepping up to the top of your mat. So in our downward facing dog, we're going to drop our left knee. We'll all do it the first time. Step that right foot forward. Easy peasy. So you can take this way if stepping forward is hard for you. You can take this method anytime. And this is the position we want to be in, so perfect. As we inhale, rock forward, lift the heart. And gently, don't force the hip flexor. As we exhale, we're walking back into hamstring stretch. So we're going to oscillate between these two a couple of times, rocking forward, opening the front body, especially that hip flexor gently. Exhale back. Hamstrings press into that heel. 1 more rotation here, coming forward. And exhaling back. Inhale, we come back to our starting position. So your back toe is curled under. Press that leg straight. The back leg comes straight. Now, a couple of options here. You can bring your hands to your hips. You can bring your hands to that front knee as we come all the way up. Inhaling, reaching up to the sky. So you also have the option to have your hands on your hips here because we're going to play with our balance a little bit. Take an inhale. As you exhale, press the front knee straight. And inhale, bend it. Exhale, straighten. And inhale, bend. Let's do one more time. Straighten. And then we move back into our bent leg position. Stay here. Release your hands, intertwine your fingers behind your back. Lift the heart a little bit higher. Maybe lift your gaze if your balance is steady. Inhale, lift the heart a little bit higher. One more breath. And then we release the hands. Both hands come down to the mat. Plant your left hand. We're twisting to the right. So either right hand to your hip or reach the right hand to the sky. Every exhale, the belly twists up towards the sky here. To your right side. Take one more breath. Really lengthen up. Both legs are active. Exhale. Hand comes down. Step back. Downward facing dog. Let's just move straight into our second side. Drop the right knee. Step the left foot forward. So remember, you can use this method every time we step forward. So let's start our oscillation between these two, coming forward, opening the hip flexor, exhale, hamstrings, press into that left heel, activate the same time that we're elongating. Inhale forward. Exhale. Inhale, forward. And exhale back. This time as we inhale forward, finding ourselves in our lunge position. And you can bring your hands to your hips if you wish before you straighten your leg. But we're going to press that back leg straight. I find that really hard because of my painful toes, but that doesn't mean you can't do it. Let's rise up, maybe reaching to the sky here, maybe keeping hands on hips. Let's start with our oscillation between the straight leg, bent leg. So as we exhale, straighten the front leg. As we inhale, bend it. Exhale, straighten. Inhale, bend. One more time. Exhale, straighten. And this time as we bend, we're going to stay here. Release your hips behind your back, intertwine your fingers, open the heart. Maybe lift your gaze if you feel grounded and balanced. Otherwise, you can look towards the floor. Keep lifting the heart a little bit higher, opening the shoulders, opening that hip flexor. One more breath. And we release hands to the floor. Right hand grounds, left hand either hip or up to the sky as we twist left. The exhale, belly twist up towards the ceiling, following your gaze. One more breath here. Both legs are strong. Exhale. Release the arm. Step back, downward facing dog. So options here, we're going to flow, or you might come to child's pose, or you might just stay in down dog for a little bit. You choose what your body needs. Inhale, come forward to plank if you're flowing. Exhale, lower. The inhale opens the front body up dog or cobra. And the exhale takes you back, downward facing dog. Let's have 3 breaths in whichever resting pose you have chosen. Either child's pose, down dog, or maybe even laying on your belly. We have one more breath, and then we're making our way to the top of our mat with a wide-footed stance. So step right foot, step left foot to the outside edges of your mat. Feet are parallel here. Bring your elbows to your knees, sink your hips deep. Reach your arms straight out in front of you. Sink a little deeper and create that action as though someone's got a hold of your wrist and they're pulling you forward, pulling you forward, pulling you forward. And then begin to draw the belly and tuck the tailbone slightly. Reach your arms up to the sky, stay low. Spread your feet away from one another. One more breath. Exhale, release your forward fold. Walk your feet back in a little closer to each other, parallel. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, bow. Inhale, circle wide, rise high. Look up to the sky, stretch up, draw into your heart center. Take a couple breaths in your mountain pose. Again, feeling into the feet. Close your eyes, feel all those physical sensations that you might be feeling in this food body, your Annamaya Kosha, our densest, heaviest layer, heaviest vibration. Let's begin to clear blockages and gunk our physical body. We begin to get glimpses of those more subtle koshas, those more subtle bodies, deeper within this layers of onion. Take one more breath here in your mountain pose. And inhale, reach to the sky. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, step back with your right foot. So staying up high on your toes here initially, we're going to rise up in runner's lunge. So keeping your head, crown of your head reaching forward, torso right over your thighs, bring your hands alongside you. So you're creating a long line from your heel through the crown of your head. Both legs are active, pressing into the floor. Intertwine your fingers behind your back and slowly come all the way up. Once again, opening the heart, lifting the heart. Take one more breath here. And then we're going to pivot that back foot down for warrior two. You might need a wider stance or you might be fine, but bring that back heel down. Float your hands up, release your hands. So from our warrior two, we're simply going to bend at the elbows and you're going to turn your gaze to the long side of your mat, the side that your pelvis is facing. Take an inhale, lift your heart. And as we exhale, draw your forearms together. Let your back curve just a little bit, kind of like we do in cat-cow. Inhale, open, lift the heart, gaze up. Exhale, let the back round just a little bit. Do two more like that. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. And last one, exhale. We'll inhale and open. Release your arms straight out into our regular warrior and then press that front leg straight for triangle. So as we move into our triangle, try to lengthen that left side body. Float your hand down to wherever it lands. Don't worry about getting your hands down to the floor. And actually, let's take that right hand to the small of your back initially. So we want to rotate the right side body up to the sky. Draw your ears back. Draw your heart back. And then go ahead and release that right arm up to the sky. Pressing strong into both feet here. Maybe looking to the sky. One more breath. And then bend the front knee. Both hands come down. Step back. Downward facing dog. Same option as before. You can take child's pose if you need a little break. You can flow by coming forward to plank pose and lowering down through your choice of vinyasa as you exhale. The inhale brings you into your back bend, and the exhale takes you back, downward facing dog. You might pause in child's pose along the way. Let's take one more breath in your downward facing dog. And we're going to step, walk, or float to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, we bow. Inhale, we rise up, reaching up, lengthening through that whole body from feet to fingertips. And draw it into your heart center. Exhale. Take a moment in, that sounded like a mouse sneeze. Take a moment in your mountain pose. Just reground, come back to your center. Come back to your breath. And we're going to go ahead and do second side. So inhale, if I can remember our sequence, we're going to do second side. Exhale, let's bow. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, the left foot steps back, high up on the toes to start. We're coming into runner's lunge. So reaching through the crown, reaching through that back heel, float the arms up beside you like wings. Lift your belly up off your thigh. Feel that strength, that connection. Feel those legs, your physical body. Intertwine your fingers behind your back. Open, rise up. Lifting the heart. One more breath here. And then we're going to pivot the foot back, the back foot down for warrior two. Extending your arms. I'm going to imagine you guys don't want that knee on. So same thing we did in our warrior two for our second side. Bend the elbows. Take an inhale, look up, open the heart. As we exhale, draw the forearms together. A little bit of a round, a cat-cow round coming to the back. Inhale, open. Exhale, draw it in. We're doing some different things with some of our poses to really bring our awareness into our physical body. Last one. Inhale, open. Exhale, draw it in. This time as we inhale and open, we'll extend the arms to our regular warrior two. Straighten that front knee, get ready for triangle pose. Lengthen that right side body, reach as much as you can. Just let that hand float to your shin. And let's bring that left hand to the small of the back. Draw the ears back, draw the head back, rotate the left side body up to the sky. And then you can release that left hand up if you wish. You can keep it at the small of your back as well. Press strong into both legs. One more breath here in the triangle pose. Look towards your front foot, bend your front knee. Both hands come down, step back, downward facing dog. Let's all take a little flow, whatever your flow looks like today, to flush all that out. Coming forward to plank, and that might mean knees down. Exhaling, coming down or stopping through chaturanga. Inhale, open the heart. And exhale back. Let's take child's pose. All of us take child's pose. We have a little bit of challenges coming up. So take a few breaks or a few breaths in your child's pose before we move on to this next sequence. Take a moment in your child's pose for some gratitude for this physical body. And as we begin to cleanse this food body, our Annamaya Kosha, we might begin to get some glimpses of the more subtle bodies as we continue through our physical asana practice. Let's inhale up. Find your way back to downward facing dog. So we're going to be stepping our right foot forward. So remember, if stepping forward is difficult for you, you can lower that left knee before we step forward. Otherwise, we're all going to float that right leg up to the sky, three-legged dog. And as you exhale, step it up between your hands. We're moving into half moon pose here. So if you have blocks and you want to use a block, have it at your right hand. I'm going to turn this way. So we're going to shift your weight forward onto that right hand. Float the left hand up. Both legs are really active here. Your hips are open to the left side in half moon pose. Your left toes are pointing out to the side. You might reach that left hand up to the sky. The more active your legs are, the easier it is to balance. So here's our challenge. We're going to do this twice. Bring that left hand down. Draw your knee towards your nose. Square the hips, round the back. Extend that foot straight out, toes pointing to the floor this time for revolved half moon. So we're twisting to the right. Hand can be on your hip, or you can reach it to the sky. Lift that left leg higher. Because as we twist, that leg wants to drop. Take one more breath here. Exhale, release that right hand down. We're going back to the original half moon pose. I told you we're going to challenge a little bit here. Roll the hips open to the left. If you have to come out of it, go ahead, but we got one more round or one more pose. Bring the left hand down. Draw the knee towards the nose. Are you feeling your physical body yet? Exhale, extend that left leg. We're twisting to the right now. Lift that left leg a little bit higher. Release that hand down. Release your left leg to the back of your mat. Pivot the foot down. Last one in this sequence, I promise. We're coming into side angle, so you might bring that right forearm to your knee. You might have your fingertips on the floor. You decide where you want to be after that series. Top arm reaches over, stretching out that left side body. Nice length from the outside of your back heel to your fingertips. One more breath, steady here. And then release, both hands come down. Step back, downward facing dog. Let's all take child's pose for a breath. For a breath or two, how about for a couple of breaths? And if you want to take a flow before you meet us in child's pose, go ahead and do that. But we have a second side to do, so take a moment to let your breath catch up. Feel all those sensations in your body, in your physical body, as we clear the clutter. You can meet us in downward facing dog when you're ready. We've got a couple more breaths. And let's get ready for our second side. So we're going to be floating the left leg up in three-legged dog. Remember, if you need a little help with that stepping forward, drop your right knee to the mat. Otherwise, left leg floats up. Exhale, bend the knee, step it up between your hands. Left hand on your block if you're using blocks. We're going into our half moon pose. Remember, we're doing both of these poses twice. So the first one, your hips are rolled open, your toes are pointing to the right. Hand can be on your hip or reaching up to the sky. The more active the legs, the easier it is to balance. Sorry, I'm yelling right over the microphone. Take one more breath here. Let the right hand come down. Square the hips, draw your knee to your nose. Curl your spine.
Extend that right foot straight. Really active through that heel. We begin to twist towards your left hand to your hip. Maybe reach to the sky. Lift that right leg a little higher. Exhale, left hand comes down. One more half moon pose. Roll the hips open. Hand to your hip or up to the sky. Remember, really extend through both legs. Feel all those sensations. One more breath. This is our last one. Square the hips, knee to the nose. We're moving into the revolved version. Right hand stays down. Extend that right leg. Twisting to your left. Keep lifting that right leg. Lift through your inner thigh. One more breath. Release the left hand down. Step that foot back and pivot the heel down. We're moving into side angle. So your left hand can stay on the floor. It might come to your knee. Top arm rotates over. We're twisting the right side body up to the sky. Lengthening as much as you can on that right side body. One more breath. And then we're rotating, both hands come down to the mat. Step back, downward facing dog. Take one last flow if you wish, or come down to child's pose if you wish. We're all going to be meeting in child's pose. So get there however works for you. Let your forehead rest down on the floor. Let your breath come back to your center, come back to your present moment awareness. And again, enjoy all of those sensations in the body, our physical body, our food body. One more breath here. When you're ready, we're going to make our way to a seat and onto your back for bridge pose. So with this bridge, we're going to reach the arms overhead, and we're just going to move in and out of bridge pose dynamically. I think I have to turn the lights up because I think I'm in the dark. So just take a moment with your knees bent. And then when you feel ready, inhale, the hips rise up. And exhale, roll them back down. Just going to do this 4 or 5 times. Inhale, they rise up. Chest moves towards your chin. Exhale, we come back down. Inhale, up. And exhale, slowly roll it down. Let's do one last one. Inhale, up. Let's pause here. Bring your arms down beside your hips. Maybe you want to intertwine your fingers underneath your bum and press into the arms, open the heart a little bit more, walk your shoulders underneath. Some of you might just keep your elbows bent, fingertips pointing up to the sky like robot arms. Just have one more breath here in your bridge. And then slowly, slowly, slowly release all the way down. Take a pause. Knees are still bent. And then draw your knees in towards your chest. Wrap your arms around and lift your head so that your forehead moves towards your knees. So you're curled up into a little ball. And then go ahead and release down. Take a pause here.
going to do a little bit of work with our abdominal muscles here. Nothing too crazy. You can bring your hands underneath your sacrum if you wish. Actually, no, for this first one, just leave your hands out. Bring the soles of the feet to reach up to the sky. And all we're going to do is we're going to slowly lower the right leg, just to hover as we reach through that left heel. And then as we begin to bring it up, we're going to lower the left. So we're just going to do this a few times. Keep your legs as straight as you can, reaching through both heels. And they can cross in midair as you slowly lower. Just oscillating between the two. See if you can keep your belly button drawn in towards your spine and your low back pressed down to the floor. So we're not letting the low back arch up as we move in and out. And go nice and slow. It's actually easier if you go fast, so I want you to go slow. Do one more round so that the last leg lower is on your left. And then we'll come back up for both feet reaching up once everybody catches up. Now you can bring your hands under your sacrum for a little bit more support. And you're going to lower both legs to wherever is a comfortable position. The closer to the floor, the better, but not to the point that you compromise your lower back. And now we're going to scissor our legs laterally. So bring your legs apart, right leg over left, cross, wide, cross left over right, and just scissoring back and forth a few times here. Are you feeling your physical body yet? Yeah. Let's do one more to each side. And release your legs, bend your knees, draw into your belly. Wrap your arms around, rock from side to side. Give yourself a hug. We're almost there. And then let your feet ground down on the mat for a moment. Just feel into those physical sensations of that outermost layer of your physical body. And even though we're not focusing on the prana body today, you're probably feeling all that energy from your breath, from the movements of our practice moving throughout your body. And we'll talk more about that next week. Draw your knees in, bring your hands to the back of your knees, rock from front to back. Come all the way up to a seat. Extend your legs straight out in front of you and bring your feet a little bit wider. So not feet together, but maybe hip width apart. Flex your feet so that your legs are active, toes are pointing up to the sky. We're going to come into a twist like this. So some of you might just bring your left hand to the outside of your right knee. Some of you might be your shin or your ankle. Some of you might be your foot. So it doesn't matter which one. We want to keep the integrity of the spine. So don't go for the foot just because you want to have the deepest one. Keep a nice straight spine. Extend your right arm straight out behind you. And so we're using our abdominal muscles here to twist. Those abdominal muscles that we just woke up that I'm sure you're all feeling right now. One more breath, really reach into that right hand. And then release, come back to center. Pause in center with your hand on both thighs. Nice and tall. Right hand to the outside of knee, shin, ankle, or foot. Nice, tall, straight spine. Exhale, twist to your left. Keep reaching through both heels because one of them is going to want to shift forward. The left foot's going to want to draw back and the right foot's going to want to push forward. Keep your toes flexed. Spread your toes. Reach through your fingertips. One more breath. Belly's twisting to the left. And unwind. Come back to center. Pause in center. Feet are still active. Toes are spread. Reach up to the sky. As we exhale, we're folding forward. And again, reach whatever is available to you. It might be your shins, it might be your ankles, it might be your toes. So we're going to move in and out of this just like we do with halfway lift and our forward fold. So as you inhale, still holding on to whatever body part you've got a hold of, lift your heart and lengthen through your spine. Draw your heart forward. Exhale, fold a little deeper. And don't worry if there's not a lot of difference between these two positions. Inhale, lift the heart, a halfway lift. Exhale. One more time. Inhale and exhale. And then just stay in your forward fold for a couple of breaths. Reach your heart forward, come all the way up on your next inhale. Lengthening up as you come all the way up, lengthen through your spine. And keeping your spine lifted, release your hands to your thighs. Just feel that sensation, that floating sensation and length, elongation in your spine. And then go ahead and lie down on your back. So this is where you want to grab socks, blankets, sweaters. Is everybody going to be okay if I don't turn on the heat? I know you will be for sure. Yeah, you guys are good? Okay. I want to have we're going to do about a 10-minute meditation, and I want to have the heat not on for that so that you can actually hear me. So if it's cold back there, because I don't know what it's like back there, I would rather turn it on during Shavasana than during meditation. So everybody's good? You guys will be learning to bring lots of blankets to class. And actually, I want everybody to bring a blanket for class next week. We're actually going to use it as a prop. So I'll turn down the lights a bit for you guys. If you need, those of you at home as well, if you need something under your knees, a rolled up blanket if you don't have a bolster. You want to cover with a blanket, put on some sweaters, and begin to just allow your body, this dense physical body, to soften towards the earth. Allow these next few moments of your physical body to absorb all of the energy you created through your practice. Integrating into every cell, every tissue. Remaining in this stillness, this relaxation. Begin to bring awareness back to your body, this temple that deserves your reverence and your loving attention. Your physical body is your vehicle for great accomplishments. So take a moment for gratitude for this outer encasement of a consciousness. Begin to feel your breath connecting with your body as you deepen your inhales and your exhales, intermingling with this next layer of the koshas, beginning to bring some movement into your fingers and into your toes. Eventually bending one knee and then the other as the soles of your feet come to the mat. Taking your time, holding on to that sensation of relaxation. Whenever you feel ready, roll into fetal position and stay there for a few breaths. Enjoying this sense of nourishment for your physical body. Slowly find your way up to a seat. Maybe sitting on a block or cushion or your rolled up blanket. Whatever you need, we're going to have a little meditation here. So find a seat that you can maintain. And once you have found your seat, let your eyes close once again. Take a moment to register the sensations of being in your body. Register the feeling of your legs, as though your thighs start to get heavier. Almost as though the bones have weight on top of them, pressing them down towards the earth. And then bring your sensory awareness to the pelvis, to your sit bones, and let them feel heavy, resting on the surface beneath you. The weight of the lower body releasing down. Feeling grounded and anchored by the weight of the low body, the legs, the feet, the sit bones, the pelvis. Stay with those sensations of the body for just a few moments. And begin to bring awareness to your spine. And begin to invite a feeling of elongation without rigidity. The belly is soft. Just this subtle sense of elongation on the inside. You can think of your torso as steam rising, floating up in the air. This internal height. And then bring awareness to the front of your chest. The front of the ribs, ever so slightly draw up, as though the lungs are full of helium, lifting, rising. And then complement that by allowing the shoulder blades to slide down your back, softening. Take a moment to register that feeling. Bring your awareness to the back of the head or the back of the ears. And then ever so slightly draw the back of the head, back of the ears up and back. Feel your facial muscles soften and your belly soften. And circulate your awareness back to your legs, your thighs, your sit bones heavy, your spine lengthening up, the heart, the front ribs lifting, helium in your lungs, shoulder blades sliding down your back, the back of your neck, the back of the head lifted and drawing slightly back, face soft. Feel all the feelings that you have in your body, sensations right now in this moment, without judgment. And then bring your hands together at your heart center, thumbs to your sternum, to your heart, in a gesture of gratitude towards this physical body, your food body, Annamaya Kosha. It carries you through the world. All your experiences, all your accomplishments. Take a deep inhale, a slow exhale. Let's take one more inhale to Om. Two more like that. Let your eyes flutter open. Bring your awareness back into this space and those around you. Namaste. 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 How's everybody feeling? Good? Did we get rid of all the kinks? All that stuck energy? So next week we're going to be going more awareness into the pranayama body, but we'll still be doing physical asana, but our awareness or our focus is going to be on our breathing throughout our practice, and then kind of intermingling how the two intermingle, and also how they intermingle and affect each other with the mind, which is the next layer.